Okay, so now we have our dough, and I've divided it into 2 sections. If you don't want to make all the biscuits at one time, this is freezable. So I'm just going to put one bowl aside for the moment, and we'll work with this one. Now, this is something that you can get your kids to give you a hand with. Certainly you can do it by yourself, but it's something that you can get the whole family involved in. Alright, flour rolling pin, just so it doesn't stick. And you want to roll this out, again, it's one of those things I tend to do by sight, so I'm not sure that I can tell you exactly how thick to make it. You'll learn through experience. If you've made it too thin, then you won't get nice, big, puffy treats out of it if it's not thick enough for them to sort of puff up over the top, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so that's about right. A little bit of stickiness there. Okay, so potato masher. I wasn't kidding. I tried a lot of tools in order to find something that would work to give me a consistently bite-sized treat, and this was the best thing that I found. So if you have any of these laying around that you don't use anymore, you could perhaps kick them back into usage. Now I'm just putting a bit of flour on there, as with any tool when you're baking, just to stop it from sticking. Okay, this end down here is quite thin. So if I go to push treats out of this, they don't come up very far, which in itself isn't a problem, but you do get a much finer, smaller treat than if you used a big side. Okay, so well, you get that out. Basically, I then take the knife, run it down the back, okay, and then, forgot my tray, okay, we should have already had prepared, one of the joys of trying to film something. I'm just using a bit of spray-on olive oil, okay, just to coat the bottom of a baking tray. You can use baking paper, but I found the olive oil works a bit better. So we've pressed our treats out of the thin end, and then you can either just take your hand, rub that over the back, okay, give them a little bang, and they'll come loose. And so what you end up with are little individual bite-sized treats. Okay, now, when we use the thicker end, as you can see, they puff up a bit closer together. That's ideally what we want. So we've ended up with quite close puffed ones. Again, knife over the back, just to take off what's holding it together. And you can probably just tap them out. Okay? If you've got a couple of sets of helping hands, one person can squish them out, and one person can scrape, another person can put them in the pan. You can get as many people involved in it as you want. These are how I make all the treats that I sell. So you can tell it is quite a labor-filled process, but I wouldn't do it any other way. Alright, so I'll finish this dough, and we'll be back in a jiff, in a few minutes, to show you what to do next.